I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Congressman Jamie Raskin spoke about abortion during a House Judiciary Committee hearing on Wednesday. The Maryland Democrat said, quote, "Democracy and freedom are under siege," and tied January 6th to efforts to end the right to an abortion. He also spoke about his own daughters, saying he trusts them to make decisions for themselves rather than trusting politicians to decide what they can do with their bodies. Listen into his remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Abe Lincoln once wrote a beautiful passage in which he compared the Constitution and the Declaration. He said, the Constitution is like a silver picture framing the apple of gold. And the apple of gold, he said, is liberty, liberty for each and every person in the country. And the silver frame exists to protect the apple, he said. The Constitution exists to protect freedom. The apple does not exist to protect the frame. Well, today, both democracy and freedom are under siege in our country. There are right-wing extremists and fanatics who want to destroy both the silver frame of our constitutional democracy, and they came here to show us that they mean business on January the 6th of last year, and also the golden apple of personal freedom to make our own decisions about the most intimate and personal decisions that we could make. They have brought mob violence to the Congress of the United States, threatening to hang the vice president in order to overthrow a democratic election. And now they are about to do violence to the Constitution and the doctrine of a right to privacy, a freedom that tens of millions of Americans and women have considered central to their ability to lead their lives and to conduct their business as citizens of the country. Well, this is an illuminating hearing, Mr. Chairman. The Republicans' own witness, the witness they called, is candidly and openly calling for a nationwide ban on all abortions with no exceptions for rape or incest. And if I've got that wrong, I would invite Ms. Foster to correct me. Do I have it wrong, yes or no?
If we added rape and incest exceptions, would you vote for it?
Okay, I reclaim my time, of course. This is a position for government-compelled childbirth in all cases so extreme that it excludes the vast majority of Americans of all political persuasions. Talk, for example, to our Republican colleague Nancy Mace, who has written movingly of her own rape at age 16, and she refused to stand down before anti-choice extremists in South Carolina who wanted to criminalize abortion, as this witness does in every single case, in all the cases. The MAGA party wants to turn what is today and what has been for 50 years a constitutional right into a federal crime. And they want to do it before the 4th of July. I want America to reflect on what's going on here. My wife Sarah and I have been parents for 30 years. There's nothing I'm prouder of than raising 3 human beings of great decency and character. And I've only been in public office for 15 years, half of that time, but I venture to say I've come to know politicians pretty well. And I hope it offends none of my colleagues here, but I must say, I trust my 29-year-old and 25-year-old daughters infinitely more to make the personal life planning decisions about when, where, and how to start their families and all of the related attendant personal health care decisions about their bodies and their lives than I would ever trust the class of politicians to make those decisions for them. And that's what this is about. And I've served with great public officials from both parties, people like John Lewis, people like Liz Cheney, people like Nancy Pelosi, but I would not trust even the best politicians to make those judgments for my daughters. Much less would I trust the politicians who are fighting to criminalize abortion in all cases, with no exceptions even for violent rape or incest across all of America. Why would we put this decision in the hands of those people? You know, Abraham Lincoln was right about something else. He said, government cannot endure permanently half-slave. He said, government cannot endure permanently half-slave and half-free. And ultimately, I am sure that Abe Lincoln is as right about the 21st century as he was about the 19th century. We are not going to be able to endure half free and half controlled by the government. I tremble for my country when I contemplate what this 5-justice majority is about to do to our country. I yield back to you, Mr. Chairman.
The gentleman yield back.